Are you optimistic about the future of the European project?
Yes, because if you're not optimistic, you should throw the towel, which I'm not prepared to do. But I do see the very, very serious challenges, and I do agree we need to get the people on board. Now, it's always easy to get people on board when you've got money to distribute. But when it's hardship, when things are not going well, when you're facing crises in Italy, where thousands of people flow upon the shores, and there is no perfect or even good response from Europe. If you see Greece on a banking incident going down the drain and there is no good European response, that's where the challenges are. But I stay convinced that there is no alternative but to solve it through Europe.
Did you see this morning, the last point, did you see this morning that the IMF are in conflict now with the European Commission? They're at war with them, that there's a conflict even between IMF and the European Commission.
Yes.
Isn't that a sad state of affairs in a civilized world that we live in?
Now I'm going to be very naughty.
Tell me.
Very naughty.
Yeah.
And I'm going to repeat, this is my personal view. But if we're pressed by the IMF and by the West to enlarge Europe, to take Turkey on board, to become a Mercosur, and to especially not integrate, that's in their interest, not in ours.
Thank you very much for your time.
I want to get a question.
You want to get a question?
We're going to do a question.
And if this is on BBC, you're...
I promise.
You made a comment there, you said we have to decide whether we are Europeans or whether we're history. Now, what I took from that is the implication that maybe the former is positive, but the latter is negative. Now, I may be wrong there, and that's what I'd like you to tell me. But surely, as Europeans, we're not just about the European Union, we are Europeans in that we are part of a great continent. But surely what makes Europe great is our combined history. It's this synergism. We have 27, soon to be 28 member states, all with very great cultural histories, all of which, and really, to be honest, Europe is the bedrock of modern society.
And to be cherished, I agree.
Is there anything negative about our history? What's wrong with
Yes, there is
our
one
history?
thing negative about this. Not negative, about our culture and about our 2,000 years of history. The one thing negative, and we haven't touched upon that yet, and now it becomes really politics. What we've been discussing up until now, also in day-to-day life, flies for about 2% of the people. You and I, and the guy behind the camera who speaks Arabic and Spanish, English and whatever, we can survive in Shanghai, in Timbuktu, in New York, in Hong Kong or in Brussels. But we are the privileged 2%. A guy fixing screws at Volvo is linked to his family, to his house, and he's not mobile as the 2% happy people. And so the challenge of these same people in China that today earn €2 a week, and the ones here that earn €10 a day, to match those in something that would be a global economy and that will bring prosperity and a good life to everybody. That is the main challenge. And as you know, I've worked for 15 years in cooperation and development. Nobody seems to think about Africa. They're dying, they're starving, and nobody gives a shit. Might we at some point succeed in creating a better world for everybody? That is now very, 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 very...
Look, I understand exactly what you're saying. Are you suggesting that sort of, as Francis Fukuyama said some years ago, we're now experiencing an end of history, where one period of our history is finishing and a new one is starting? I can understand that argument, but I would say that most people who supported Fukuyama will now say that he was wrong and that there's no end of history. Please.
It's an interesting debate. And look, you know, I'm left-wing. I do support 100% our commissioner now that has said to the Chinese, you're sucking up the market with your cheap solar panels that you are producing by destroying the environment and dumping on our markets. He's got a point. It is, of course, a short-term point, but he's really got a point. So, it's not all black and white.
That's an excellent point to end. So we're just going to turn this around. Well done. Voices of dissent and agreement as represented. Yeah, show them where we are, dear. Please.